You may think that you're unproductive, you may think that you're lazy, but I'm here to tell you that you're probably wrong. So stop beating yourself up, because really you have parasites living inside the fabric of your daily routine. Parasites aren't just biological, they're conceptual. They live in your schedule on your phone, and they're burrowed within your daily habits. And it might be why you haven't hit a single goal this month. No disrespect. And the dangerous part is that most people have no idea that these parasites are even there. So we're gonna identify them. We're gonna talk about how we can exterminate, how we can incinerate. We're gonna get a blowtorch out and just wow. So parasite 1, the first thing that is killing your productivity is decision fatigue. And decision fatigue is the real cause of mental exhaustion, the real cause of mental decline that you may feel as your day goes by. And yes, we do tend to lose focus. We do tend to lose that concentration throughout the day, but you can keep your focus alive for so much longer if you just limit the number of decisions that you're making. So if you can simplify your routine, if you can tap into extreme minimalism, simplicity, and hyper focus, you can really take it there. So for example, have you ever been in a restaurant and just looked at a menu? You look at a menu and there's just too much going on. There are just so many options. The text is laid out in an overly confusing way, and the menu itself is giant. You're holding it like a flipping newspaper and you keep turning it over to explore the other side. That is decision fatigue. You are making yourself overwhelmed. You are making yourself stressed out because you're giving yourself too many options. You think, oh, do I have the steak? Do I have the burger? Do I have the chips? Do I have the this, that, or the third? But the good news is that we can exterminate this parasite where it lays. And that's because you might already have a few habits, a few things that you just do on autopilot. So when you wake up, you don't decide to wake up. You just kind of do. You don't decide to brush your teeth. You just do. The key to killing decision fatigue is to design a morning routine, to design your ideal day to be as simple and as focused as possible. So that could look like waking up at the same time every day and doing the same exact thing every morning. And don't give yourself an out here. Don't give yourself any other option, because that's where you're going to start to overwhelm yourself. That's where you're going to get stressed out. And so when you can tap into this focus, when you can tap into this minimalism of day-to-day simplicity, you'll find that you stop relying on motivation or even discipline. Instead, you're just on go. You're on autopilot in a good way. Getting up and getting to work is no longer a chore, but it's just part of your identity. It's a part of who you are. And again, with killing decision fatigue, you're freeing up mental space. You're freeing up mental storage to actually focus on the bigger things in life, the bigger decisions that you need to make day to day. Do anything to limit the decisions that you need to make. Anything that you can do to automate your good habits, to remove friction and make it easy. Not even easy, but just the standard to do your routine, to complete your habits and work on autopilot. Just focus on the actually important work. Rinse and repeat for 7 mornings a week. Over a month, you will be so far ahead. And so this flows nicely into number 2. So parasite number 2 that is draining your productivity is overthinking. And so overthinking is similar to the parasite that is decision fatigue, but there is a slight difference. They are adjacent yet slightly different problems. And so overthinking is the part of you that will always exist. It is the yin to your yang. Even if you carry yourself with burning conviction and belief in yourself that I will succeed, I will achieve this goal, there will always be a part of you that will overthink, overplan, and doubt the belief that you have about yourself. There's going to be a little bit, just a little part of you that wants to be a flipping contrarian and thinks the other way. And so the parasite of overthinking, it will make you think about the what ifs, what if I fail? What if I post this next video and it gets 2 views and half of them are from me? Doubts. We all have doubts. And this parasite is especially slippery because the more you feed it, the more time that you spend thinking about it, the more powerful it grows. Because as humans, we have a negativity bias. We are more prone to focusing and obsessing over the negative things that we are going through or the negative traits about ourselves. It's our minds trying to analyze where we went wrong or where we can improve. I feel like it's a remnant of our ancestral lives, living out in the world. Our subconscious is trying to find weaknesses so that we can actually survive and reproduce. There are certain things that we have about ourselves that may have helped us survive, and maybe they still to this day help us survive, but they don't make our quality of life any higher. It's just about continuing our lineage. It's harsh, but it's biology, innit? But regardless, the imperfect cure, and again I say the imperfect cure to overthinking, is accountability. Again, in having that rough blueprint, in having that rough morning routine, or not rough morning routine, that exact morning routine, and telling yourself that, okay, this is me now, I have to set out on this path. You want to think to yourself that you said that you want to be X, you said that you want to achieve Y, you want to do this now, you want to be Mr. Big Time. Alright, so go ahead and prove it. And this is part of why, number one, so decision fatigue and overthinking, this is why they go hand in hand, because the solution to both is having that routine on autopilot and removing the friction from your day, so that over time you prove to yourself that, you know what, I'm that guy, I'm waking up consistently, I'm putting the work in, I said I wanted this and I'm making progress, I'm going through on what I was gonna do. I'm proving to myself that the doubts are fabrications in my mind, they're not real. I'm proving to myself that the doubts are doubts, and that's where they're gonna stay. And so this is why I say the antidote to overthinking, the imperfect antidote to overthinking, is to just keep on keeping on. Prove to yourself over time that you are that guy. Prove to yourself that you're on the right track. Because if you deep down know that you aren't really trying your hardest, if you aren't actually doing what needs to be done, then that parasite will keep on gnawing at your side. It will keep on biting into you, and you will start to feel the pain of doubt and regret. But again, the solution is just creating that morning routine, removing decision fatigue, and making it easy to just turn up and get to work every day. And from there, it just becomes a positive feedback cycle. You keep proving to yourself that you're getting better and better and better, and just your doubts, they fade to a small, minute number. They'll never go to zero. You'll never be free of doubt, but you can keep on keeping on and just get those doubts just to be just a small foreign part of your brain. But anyway, number three, parasite number three, that's preventing you from reaching your potential, is poor diet and health. Too many people believe that it's acceptable to be on a BS diet, to be on some rubbish diet. People don't even realize that they're eating rubbish food. Genuinely, people will just sit there and wonder, like, oh, why do I have this issue? Why can't I focus? Like, genuinely, people will not understand that the issues that they are facing, the health problems that they are facing, they come from their diet. Remember that food is fuel. Excess carbs, too much sugar will leave you scatterbrained. They will leave you lazy and tired. And from here, you will believe that you now have an excuse to lose focus, and you will shift naturally. You will shift to an easier gear, draining your productive potential. You know, when you cut out the sugar entirely, when you heavily reduce your carbs, or at least no carbs during the morning or before 3 to 4 p.m., when you get enough protein in, when you eat clean, whole, sustainable foods. And of course, don't go to extreme lengths here. You know, sugar every day is one extreme, but also doing up a carnivore diet is another extreme. But my favorite health and productivity habit is daily fasting, or intermittent fasting. So you want to be aiming to have, if you want to fast, you want to aim to have 1 to 2 big meals a day, or at least not eat for the first few hours after waking up. And of course, check with your body. Everyone's different. You don't have to do it, but for me, when I fast, I feel alive. I feel primed. It's like tapping into a different primordial instinct. Oh, and by the way, you can have water, you can have tea and coffee if you want. But when I'm fasting, I just feel locked in. You know, it's time to go. It's time to hunt almost. And it sounds corny, but that's the mindset it puts me in. And initially getting into fasting can be a bit difficult for a few days, but eventually you find that focus, you find that drive, and your productivity will just shoot through the roof. And furthermore, linking back to reducing decision fatigue, because I complete the vast majority of my important essential work before I first eat for the day, I am saving more mental bandwidth to actually problem solve, to be creative. I am spending this mental energy on my work instead of spending on cooking midday or deciding what I want to eat. And again, if you really want to eat, or if you really need to eat during the day, then go ahead. But I would recommend that everybody, if health allows them to try and fast for at least 2 to 3 hours when you wake up. Again, if you can. But I digress. So number 4, parasite number 4 is social media, is doom scrolling and short form content. Short form content is destroying your attention span. You probably know this already. You don't need me to tell you this, but it is destroying your drive and ambition. You know, people are consuming too much nonsense and consuming too much BS. Consuming unintentionally, it leaves you anxious, paranoid, and painfully aware of just too much that's going on around the world. And I don't know, I don't want to harp on this too much because, you know, like everybody knows that you need to do this. Everybody knows that their life will be better without social media, but too few people actually follow up on it. So instead of giving you a lecture, I'll just explain how I've been feeling. So I quit social media and I've become chronically offline. I feel much more fulfilled and content with my day-to-day lifestyle. And I think that social media was feeding a big part of my previous doubts that I was having. You know, now I feel focused, I feel disciplined and less connected from all the toxicity and distractions that were polluting my mind when I was online. I'm less addicted to stimulus. I can go longer sitting at my desk and actually work like how I used to as a kid. I'm no longer chasing quick, short-term, pretty much fake dopamine. I'm working well. I'm focused on achieving real reward, on achieving real dopamine. I'm really building for real. And I've never really felt this focused and content with my path. And that focus, that unshakable direction, it has been so powerful for my productivity. And it's the combination, it's the compounding of habits that works together to kill all of these parasites. When you actually implement these good habits, when you implement these systems, the rewards just compound on top of each other. Like, bro, I'm having weeks where I'm just getting so much work done. I'll get to Sunday or I'll get to the weekend and I'll just look back like, damn, that's me. I did all of that. And it's such a good feeling looking back on the week or the month and just seeing that all of your efforts and all of the hard work is in the form of genuine, concrete progress. And it's a feeling that I want you to experience in your day-to-day life. But bro, this lifestyle is so powerful. Like, this is how we are meant to live. This is how the man built empires back in the day. This is how Descartes wrote meditations. This is how Nikola Tesla invented AC or DC, whatever bro invented. And it's by being offline, in cutting out all the excess energy and tapping into our sovereign energy and actually looking within. Because whether you realize it or not, you already have the ideas. You have the roadmap within you. If you cut the excess noise and look within, you will find all the answers you're looking for. Believe me, it's just very difficult to actually find the answers. It's very difficult to look within with all the noise of all the BS content that we are consuming. Be selective about who you allow into your life. Be selective about who you allow to feed your belief system. And so if you're watching this video, if you've gotten this far, well, I'm assuming you're watching this video if you can hear my voice, but if you have gotten this far, I have gotten into your day. I am gotten into your mind. Pause. And it's up to you as the viewer, if you agree with me or not, to decide whether you want to continue listening to what I have to say or not. But yeah, that's about it from me. What did I say? Here are the 5 that was the 5 parasites that are killing your productivity. So just pick one parasite, kill it this week. Next week, come back for the next one. Just small moves, focus small. What am I saying? Small moves stacked up. That's how you can actually get somewhere.